Well, I welcome it. It's something that after many veterans contacting my office, as they did a number of my colleagues' offices, we decided that it's not what we thought was right, but what they thought was right, and it's there because it's their mates' lives who'd been lost, and they were asking for a Royal Commission, and you had to do the sensible thing and say, if that's what you want, that's what you get. It's your mates whose lives have been lost and families have been destroyed, so if you want a Royal Commission, you get a Royal Commission.
Do you think the powers that be within the government took too long to get to this conclusion?
Well, politics is a moving feast, and as lobbying increased, and also obviously Heston had a big part in that, meeting Heston and meeting mothers who lost their sons. That's a pretty powerful argument, and you got to listen to it. And now what we have now is both the Royal Commission and also the commission that'll go forward. Well, obviously, one will look at the issues that were pertinent in the past and that brought about these so many hundreds and hundreds of tragedies, hundreds and hundreds of veterans who've taken their own lives, and how we go forward from here so we can do a better job.
And obviously the internal pressure as well. I know there was crossbench support for a Royal Commission via Jackie Lambie, Rex Patrick and so on, but there's nothing like a bit of internal pushback to make things happen. How important was that in this process?
Well, I'll let other people decide how important that was, but yes, there was a number of backbenchers. Obviously in the backbench you've got the right to express yourself. You can't lose a cabinet position if you don't have one. So, and these were also people on the Defence Committee with me, such as Phil Thompson, and there was a number of us said, well, I think we've got to do something about this. And you don't try and do that every day, but when you do and for the right reasons, I think it can have effect.
The other big announcement today from the Defence Minister Peter Dutton is to overturn that ruling to revoke the unit meritorious citation for those that served in Afghanistan. Do you welcome that decision?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what are you going to say? That you're going to remove it for every person that, people who risk their lives, that there's some arbitrary sweeping statement that apparently there was no valour on their part, that unbeknownst to them, they do not warrant the recognition that this award would give them. I mean, they would rightly say, well, if you don't think it warrants being recognised, then what on earth was I doing there?
And some of those that were killed, I know family members that have said to the powers that be, if you want that citation, you might have to go to the graveside or come to our home and take it yourself, because they're not going to hand it back.
Yeah, that's right. Now, 41 Australians who died and paid the supreme sacrifice, and so many others who have been sort of mentally and physically tortured and encumbered by their service on behalf of our nation, basically reaching out and closing with the enemy in a distant land. And sometimes that medal, it in itself is a piece of metal, but what it signifies is so much more important. And as you know, families take those medals as a representation of the bravery and service of a family member. And what are you going to walk into the house and take it off their mantelpiece, take it out of their cupboard, take it off the wall? I mean, how's it going to work? I didn't think it was a good idea at the start, and the more everyone thought about it, became sillier and sillier and sillier till the Minister, Peter Dutton, did what was the bleeding obvious and a very good decision on his part and said that ain't going to happen.
And finally, Julianne Finney, I'm just reading a statement from her. She says, "Today is a long time coming for veterans and their families. Finally, the voices of veterans will be heard. Finally, families can stand up and share their stories." So credit to, well, I've got to say, Julianne Finney more than anyone in this process, a brave woman who's got the outcome she desired.
Tenacious, brave, and also incredibly moving. And that's why when she came to my office, you just look into another human being's eyes and see the pain as they clutch their son's photo to their chest. And, some of the things she said, which for me really moved me, and that is an actual mark down for me, because I shouldn't have needed Julianne to come to my office to work out that the issues that were needed to be dealt with here. But nonetheless, she was the catalyst that drove my actions.
Barnaby Joyce, I appreciate your time. Thanks.
You're welcome, Karen.